12:02, I am informed, so let's call the September 7th meeting of the Board of Parks and Rec to order. First item is public input. Anybody from the public got any emails or anything?
No emails.
Okay, there being no public input, we'll close that and move on to consent administrative matters. First item are approval of the last meeting's board minutes. I looked at them, they look okay to me.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Aye.
Vouchers, 2 of them.
Looked good to me.
Yeah, I have any questions.
Okay.
I'll motion to approve.
Second.
That's your question.
Moved and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Sorry, Mike.
So I'm gonna wait till I vote.
I wasn't looking to set the records. Okay, first item for discussion, summer camp. Is that Jill?
So
Camp was a total of 9 days this year. We had 452 campers, and the only reason why we run over that by 2 is because there was a family that we knew they were going to be gone for a certain amount of days during that week, so we were able to fill a spot on the wait list. Every week that we had at least 20 kids on the wait list, and we just stopped at that point because we didn't figure it even feasible to start taking after that. Everything worked out well at bringing them to school. Obviously, no field trips due to COVID. They were able to walk to the pool, so they enjoyed that. Some of the campers were able to take swim lessons prior to camp. We had entertainment that we brought in, consisting of a yoga instructor, magician, the police department, fire department, showed their animals, ice cream. We had a couple different sponsors that I like to shout out to McDonald's just because they provided lunch to both campers and staff. Free of charge twice over the summer, so it was extremely generous of them. Overall for the summer, I know it's not like previous years, but we still brought in over $35,000.
That's great. Versus none last year.
and obviously we were at restrictions with the school. We could only go up to that capacity. So they also had their day adventure club and the facility as well. So we were limited on that capacity. We were at it. So the need is there, hopefully for future years to extend.
Okay, user agreements.
Yes, in your packets, I put together some use agreement forms that in consultation with Attorney Wickland to in response to a need that kind of arose this summer based upon use of the pool and then inquiries based upon use of the pool mainly, but then also thought it's wise to put this together for the social center because it may become something that we need to have on file there. So we drafted them up internally. Actually, Attorney Wickland had forwarded over a lease agreement initially to me. It was very wordy, and I kind of put it together in a format that we could use a lot easier in the office. Had him review that as well. He understood why we did that, and what you have in your packets is based upon his review after sending it back to him with that different language in there. Ultimately, the legal language that's within it is there for the town, and it's something that we are recommending for you to approve. This will be a document that we would have anyone renting the pool, if they're renting the entire facility, they would use that for the pool agreement, and then the same thing for the social center. So when they rent the social center, and it just kind of defines the terms and conditions. We really don't have anything right now that would stop someone from doing things that are probably what most of us would consider inappropriate in a park setting. And this would help give us a leg to stand on when why we would refuse, or why we would refuse someone from coming back a second time if they chose to do that on the first time they would rent the facility.
I have a couple quick questions. On the Munster pool agreement?
Yes.
So the user agreement, a couple of things that, like me personally, if I was looking to sign something, number 5 specifically, user agrees to not use or permit use premises on premises that will invalidate the policies of the insurance. So it's my understanding want to weigh in on this attorney, but I would want to see the policy that, to tell whether or not what I'm doing is, so unless you're going to attach a policy to this, like I would decide it, because I wouldn't have any way to know what your policy specifics are. Do you not agree?
I agree. I will say that both agreements are about as one-sided as it gets. So if I represented a user, I'd tell them not to sign it either. But I mean, this thing doesn't hurt the town at all. I mean,
Sure, it doesn't hurt the town, but as a user though, wouldn't you want to have, if you're referencing an insurance policy in a
I mean, I would ask for it, yeah. But we don't represent the user. We represent the town. So, I mean, I
True,
understand.
but is it vague? So if you went to court, if you went to court over that and the user says, well, that's so vague, how would I have any idea
Yeah, you
what
know,
invalidates your policies or not?
I don't know.
Like wearing,
I
I
think
don't
it,
know, is it like wearing platform shoes in a pool area, does that invalidate your user? You don't know, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's just very.
it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. Whether it stands up in court or not, I don't know.
And I think that,
And I think that the other point is, you know, realistically, I don't see it ever coming into play.
Yeah, probably right, probably right. I was just trying to look at it from the perspective of someone that is gonna sign this, and some of them were very, like, the user will occupy said premises only for family entertainment. Which is a weird line. The next line I think is great, no adult or mature audience entertainment is not perfect. The first sentence is very subjective. I don't know, just, if I was a person signing that, I mean, what does that mean to you? I don't know.
And that's, and I think that what we wanted to avoid was what we were running into this summer with the pool, obviously. And those are, and number 3 and 5, which you mentioned, are in both of these agreements. So they're both for the pool and the social center. So we've brought that up where at the social center, someone could come in there and have a bachelor party and may not have things happen at that we don't want to have happen in that facility. So I think that there's things like that. That's where we, you know, to give us that leg to stand on from that perspective. To the invalidation of the policies, and I think that's where the initial information that the attorney had sent on to us was a lease agreement, and I took it as more of a lease agreement for someone renting out my house. And I can see where, okay, if you do something in this house to invalidate my insurance, you know, that you're renting a hall. So anything to rent that hall or to rent the pool, you know, that's going to invalidate that. If you start bringing in camels to the building, hang on a second, that's not what this facility is for. So I think that it's just being that very broad-based coverage is the way it's worded, but I could ask him if you want.
I mean, if we're gonna look
to
at it, what
clarify
he
it.
is suggesting is just from the town of the Kirk, then I'm fine with it. I wanted to look at it from both perspectives. And as a resident, if I want to rent this, I would have an issue with signing that first.
And I think and I think that we get that a lot with even waivers, where people will say we can't waive it based upon our advice from our attorney and from an insurance company. They become the mandate, and if they so choose to, and we lose that customer, I guess there's that chance we run that risk. But I think that ultimately it does get to the point of protecting us as the town, is the idea behind that. So,
I mean, there are other things in here too that I would,
Yeah.
like the last paragraph about attorney fees, it doesn't cut both ways, it only goes one way. So, I mean, it is very onerous. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. But I'm okay with it from town's point of view.
On the community center,
Mhm.
did we always have no alcohol over there?
we do allow alcohol there. Where are you reading that one?
Was the exact same thing as the pool,
yeah.
pretty much.
But there should be, that one I think was edited to allow alcohol.
If number 18,
There you go.
Okay, that works then.
That's been a policy that we've always had. They pay, if alcohol is if the indication is yes, that they're going to have alcohol at the event, they do pay a higher deposit to double.
No,
Okay.
it's $250. The regular is $125.
Yeah.
With alcohol, it's $250.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the deposit. So assuming that you don't swing on the.
It should be okay.
Well, the chandelier is a break, you're good to go. All right, anybody else?
I mean, if you like, if you were so choose to incline to approve them, we could, obviously, if it becomes a big sticking point where people stop booking for us, I mean, we'll come back and bring it to you, or we could go the opposite direction and ask the attorney for additional input that way on that particular, especially that number
Well,
5.
yeah, depending on what paragraph they're objecting to, I
Yeah.
suppose, you know. I rented a car on vacation from Enterprise, and, you know, I read some of that, and the stuff I agreed to was just about as bad as this, so, but I didn't have any other way to get around.
Right. You start walking, then, right?
Do we need a motion to approve it, you think?
I would recommend that we do a motion to approve these use agreement forms of the terms and conditions, yes.
Okay, I'll motion to approve.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Before we next meeting, are we gonna meet with the town next Monday night?
So,
That was something they sent out. I'm waiting for the confirmation of it.
Okay.
The 7 PM on the 13th is is what they were shooting for. But the last that,
Is that the 2 volunteers?
no, this is the full about this building. This is in regards to litigation about this building.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, the 2 group, their meeting is tomorrow. They're the first one they're gonna have tomorrow.
That's here.
afternoon.
Or no,
At
that's-
town hall. Town hall.
one of the back ones.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock. But I will double check this week to find out. I think the biggest key was the structural engineer being there at that meeting, and there was a worry about him being in some other.
Because I didn't have a phone, I got all these emails at once, so it's hard to keep track.
We still don't have an answer for. So.
It's up in the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as I find out, I will let you know though.
All right. Next meeting is September 21st at Town Hall at 5 o'clock.
By the way, it's my birthday.
On Jan's birthday.
We need
So we'll do the cake.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
That was unanimous. Great.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.